Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Your Mark on the World show. I'm your host, Devin Thorpe, and our guest today is Jason Fritton. He's the CEO and, he has been the CEO. Now he's the executive chairman of Patch of Land and was its co-founder. Jason, welcome to the show.
Devin, thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Well, we're thrilled to have you and excited to talk through a few things. You have provided us with three great tips for making the most of the Patch of Land website. And I've got to say, you have been a longtime sponsor of GoodCrowd.info and the Your Mark on the World Center. We're so grateful for that. We appreciate your support of our work, and we're happy to have you on the show today. So your three tips. The first one was to explore the FAQs and the Resource Center on Patch of Land. Tell us why that's so important to being successful on your site as either an investor or as a borrower.
So a lot of people don't realize this is a completely new channel to both investment and lending. And there's a lot of situations where it doesn't fit the normal mold. You want to be able to get educated on exactly what's important, exactly what all the individual terms are, what the expectations are, and how the process actually works. And we've taken a great deal of time and effort and love and care in putting together these type of materials on the site themselves. It's always one of my first tips for success for almost any subject. Actually, make sure to get yourself educated on the particular topic. Know everything that you can. And that way, it's a lot less likely you're going to fall into one of the major pitfalls that exist out there. Now, we do our best, our absolute best, to make sure that in all situations we take care of you and we guide you in the right directions. But obviously, it cannot hurt whatsoever to be able to learn about it yourself, learn exactly what crowdfunding is, learn what peer-to-peer lending is, learn about how that exists within the real estate space, how to get funded quickly. And we have a great deal of material that we put together that covers all of those things. And we've made it available for everybody. So check it out on the site, the FAQs, the Resource Center, our blog. We have a great deal of really, really good material there. The first tip for success is learn how it all works.
So Jason, let's give people a couple of bonus kernels here. The site is primarily used for people who want to borrow money to buy a home that they plan to fix up and resell, and the people who want to fund those loans, right? Those are the people who are principally using your site, right?
Exactly. I mean, if you think about it, any property that's been lived in for 10 or 15 or 20 or 100 years is going to need some work before it gets sold to another good family. And there's an enormous industry that is built around doing that type of work, doing that type of rehab, the fix and flip, the fix and rent, the investment work that's necessary to go into kind of these commercial real estate opportunities. And since the banks really don't do a good job of providing funding, at least providing funding quickly for this industry, it's $100 billion a year annual addressable market. It's huge. And since the banks, the sophisticated players have essentially vacated, this particular industry, it's left this huge market, this huge opening within it. And at the bottom end of all of these are investments with an actual property, with real estate, with something that's real, anchoring everything. So at the very worst, there's something there you can go throw a rock at. So it provides a really appealing opportunity for both investors and borrowers. We can fund our borrowers in about 5 business days, and our investors can invest in 2 minutes flat from their mobile phone if they choose to.
That's a great platform. So let's talk about your first tip, or your next tip is for borrowers to get on and just submit an application. Tell us about why you think that's such an important step for success on your platform.
You'll probably hear a million times throughout your life, the first step is always the hardest, right? So it doesn't cost anything to give it a shot. If you've got a property that you believe in, you've got a project that you believe in, get on the site, go through the application, give it a try. It doesn't cost anything. It doesn't commit you to anything. You can actually see how we can work at that point. Chances are, if there's a project or a property out there that you believe in, you believe that you have the skills to pull off a really good result, there's a million other people out there that believe the same way you do. And that's what we do, is we bring those millions of people together to be able to put focus onto your particular project, to get it funded, to be able to provide that support and to get you moving. But it's always that first step that's so important.
What is the typical down payment that's required? I'm guessing maybe there isn't a hard and fast rule there, but you probably see patterns.
Yeah, so I mean, typically it's generally about 20% down. Correct, there isn't a hard and fast rule in that we actually go through an enormous amount of different data points to be able to determine whether something is a good project or not, or if it's just not going to work out, or if it's just not right for us. But one of the biggest indicators of success that we have found is that the developer, the real estate professional, the investor believes in their own project. They have skin in the game, and we've found that that's the greatest indication of success. If they don't have skin in the game, things always get hard from time to time. But the difference between people who succeed and the people who fail are the ones that actually push through those difficulties and the challenges. And if you have actual skin in the game, there's always that incentive to make sure you don't lose that skin in your game. So we do like to see about 20% down.
Fantastic. Now, your third tip is for investors. And as we talk about investors, obviously they're funding these loans. They're going to be interested in this process. Tell us what your tips are for them to get started.
So the tip for the investors is always do your own due diligence. Log on to the site. We put our due diligence up on all of our projects and all of the individual pages for each of the properties and the developers that we're sponsoring, and do your own research. We try and make that as easy as possible. We provide a lot of information, but in the end, you're making an investment. It may be an investment that's secured and collateralized by a piece of property that has real value, but in the end, there's still always the risk that you may lose some or all of your investment if for whatever reason that investment doesn't turn out. So it's always the best idea as an investor, do your own due diligence. Take a look at the information that we have provided. Take a look at the information that you can find yourself through MLS, through Realty Track, through Bigger Pockets, through just real estate investment resources in general. Even through Devin, the resources that you've made available as well. Absolutely amazing stuff. Look into it. Look into what information is out there. Do your own due diligence.
So there really are some interesting risks in real estate, but it seems like there's an opportunity to mitigate some of those risks by doing a couple of things, diversifying, which you could do on your platform by putting money into a variety of deals rather than all in one deal. Do some of those concepts come into play on your site?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, that's one of our biggest advantages, in that our minimum investment is so low that if you've got a good chunk of capital that you want to invest, you don't have to just put it all into one property that may or may not work out. You can actually put small amounts into a whole lot of different properties, a lot of different areas and different asset classes and different project types, and be able to diversify your investment portfolio. So in the eventuality, and we haven't seen any losses so far, but in the eventuality that there is a loss somewhere, your money is spread out among a great deal of different properties and different opportunities, so that your blended rate of return is still lucrative.
Now, what kinds of returns are your investors typically getting?
Low double digits at this point. We're seeing upwards of about 11.5% blended annualized rate of return to our investors now across the portfolio. And if you think about it, that's, in my opinion, that's a pretty great return, considering that it's actually secured by something. I mean, you're not investing in somebody's conceptual idea of a lemonade stand somewhere or some business or something. You're actually investing into an actual hard asset.
Yeah, you've got that behind you. Now, do you have some transparency as an investor to the borrower, that is that developer who's going to flip the property, and his or her expertise and experience?
We do. We make sure to detail out the level of experience that our borrowers have, and actually experience is one of our biggest factors. We want to make sure that our professionals have a track record of success in their chosen market, in their chosen asset class, and that our investors can have an expectation that they know what they're doing and can pull off a good project. But we detail that out. We make sure that we show what the exit is, what the capital stack looks like, what the construction budget is. We show the appraisals. They're always done at arm's length, third-party appraisals that we commission and not the borrower. We show as much information, as much on the risk as we can without trying to push people into individual investments. We want to make sure that it's our investors' decision, and that we're not trying to guide them into any particular thing, and that they're making their own decisions.
Which states are you operating in now?
So we're actually in 35 states actively now, and we can lend with impunity in 46 states. So we've got a lot of active projects in areas that you would expect. The primary markets, MSAs, Los Angeles, the Bay Area, New York, Chicago suburbs, Atlanta suburbs, Florida, both South Florida, mid-coastal Florida, DC. So a lot in the Northeast as well, and we're continuing to grow quickly. We're kind of a better built mousetrap in this area, so we're getting a lot of traction and expanding fairly quickly.
Oh, that's excellent. Well, Jason, you've recently had a big change at Patch of Land. In fact, I think it was just announced in the last several days. You've got a new CEO. You got a promotion and brought in a CEO to help you grow the business. Tell us a little bit about who the new CEO is and what precipitated the change.
Sure. So the new CEO, his name is Paul Deitch. He was previously a managing director at Oak Tree Capital Management, which is, as you know, an $8 billion firm, and he helped them to grow their assets under management from about $50 billion to $100 billion, and managed an enormous amount of people in a very, very sophisticated setting. And that's where we're moving towards now. I'm a startup guy, Devin. I get things off the ground. I have the concept. I don't take no for an answer. I fix problems. I make things happen. But we operate within the confluence of technology and finance and securities and real estate. And they're very, very challenging markets. And we've grown so quickly now. We've passed the $100 million mark. We're expecting to do a lot more than that this year. And we really needed somebody with the type of experience, the type of skill set that could really help us get to the next level. So instead of doing 100 million in a year, we're going to do $1 billion in a year, and then eventually 10 billion and so on. Paul, I truly, truly believe is the perfect answer to that. So there's a lot of corollaries there at Oak Tree. He's worked in executive positions at Fortune 100 banks. There's a great deal of experience both in managing large teams, building out infrastructure, managing technology, managing investments, managing the controlled chaos of a small company into the sophisticated operations of a larger one. It was time, and I'm really, really excited to bring Paul on board. I'm still in the office all day, every day, and it allows me to kind of change my role a little bit there, and then I continue to plan for growth, continue to build the strategic relationships necessary for the company to do so. And Paul can help us with his particular skill set, which is honestly world-class. We're really, really lucky to get Paul.
Well, it is an exciting thing to see, that just the tremendous traction that you've built. I've kind of been tracking Patch of Land since its earliest days, and you really have just really kind of hit the sweet spot of the investment crowdfunding market, bringing together a great product that really appeals to consumers both on both sides of the ball. So it's really exciting to see this milestone achieved. Really grateful to have played a tiny role in that by covering you and promoting your work in recent
We certainly
months.
appreciate your help. Thank you, Devin.
Well, fantastic. Well, I really want to thank you, Jason, for taking the time to be with us today. Before you go, please take a moment just to tell people how they can connect with you on social media, how they can find Patch of Land. I know this isn't a mystery, but review just one last time before you go.
Oh, sure. Fair enough. So we're very active on Twitter at Patch of Land, and we're on Facebook as Patch of Land as well. You can also follow me at Jason Fritton, just my name itself. And we've been very, very lucky to have such a loyal community on social media. And I would encourage everyone to reach out online and check us out at patchofland.com, or you give us a call. If you have any questions, we're very, very proud of the fact that we'll all get on the phone, get any of the top executives. If you have any questions, we'll get them answered.
Fantastic. What's that phone number? Do you have it handy?
Actually, not at the moment. We're in the process of changing that.
Okay, but it's on the website, right?
Yep, that's right.
Okay. Well, Jason, thank you very much for being with us today, and we wish you every success in continuing to grow your business and to play that key role in keeping neighborhoods vibrant and vital.
Thank you so much, Devin. I really appreciate the opportunity.
All righty. Let's do some good.